We'll get going here in a moment. Just a couple quick things as we do. Everybody can keep your screens off and just stay on mute. It'll just help keep a stable signal here. If we have any need for any questions or clarification, we'll get you to one, you can put it in the chat, or if we need any further clarification, we'll just get you to come off of mute and we will go from there. So all right. Hopefully we can see everything here on our screen. So welcome. My name is Jason Pratt. I'm the club manager of the Cascade Swim Club. Again, just a reminder for everybody that we are recording this meeting for anybody who missed it. We have an awful lot of swimmers that are coming into the competitive program in the fall, and we want to make this available to them if they weren't able to get on the call. With me is our head development coach. It's Jackie Pratt.
Hi.
And then we've also got a few other people on the call that will be speaking a little bit later when we talk about some of the other elements of being a part of the Cascade Swim Club, such as officiating, volunteering, the ability to earn credits onto your family account or cash onto your family account through some optional fundraising, and how that all works inside the system here. So we've been around for an awful long time. This was our 55th year this year. We've had all sorts of success at the very top end of the program, everywhere in between. And as you have come through our developmental programs, we've got a great Learn to competitive swim program with some fantastic results and some great athletes graduating into there. So today, talk just a little bit about the coaching, the office or administrative side, some contacts there. A lot of that we'll be able to go through very quickly. Most of it is all the same that you've experienced already as a part of the swim school program or Junior Olympic Way or SwimFit. It's just a little bit different when you decide to become a member and join the competitive programs. We're not going to touch on Swimming Canada registration. That's a piece that you would have already taken care of earlier with JOW, and it's the same process next year. Very quickly on equipment, again quickly on the training calendar as well as the meet calendar for competitive programs next year. We're not going to touch on signing up for Summit. You would have probably done that already. We will do that as a reminder in the fall when we get going again, just so that everybody, if you've only done it once or twice or a few times, we'll have a refresher meeting for everyone. Touch briefly on summer programs. Is that something that you're interested to do in doing with your swimmer at some point over the July and August timeframe? And then just very briefly about when we're getting going on the fall. So with that, we skip past this. You know what? I think I've got the wrong slideshow in here. 1 second. There we go. This one's correct. Yes, yeah, I edited all those pieces out. So just back onto this agenda, hosted some meets and how that relates to officiating. And then the fundraising pieces, as we already touched on, optional bingos and optional family account fundraisers. So the office staff, and again, these would be your primary contacts for anything that's going on outside of the pool. So your primary contact, once you're, much like it's been already in the development programs, is Coach Jackie. As I said, I'm the club manager, general manager of the program. Jen Baithke works in the club office as our office manager. She deals with all of the accounting, and we'll touch on that very briefly as we move through this and we talk about swim meets. Ella Wilson, who's the office administrator, she is your primary contact inside the Cascade Swim Club. So if you call on into the office, she would be the person that answers. If you email to the office, it would be her generally on the other end. And if you came by to our office location, which is at MNP Community and Sports Center, she would very likely be the person that greets you at the club office. So our office hours are seasonable. They're listed there. That's what they are currently, and then what they are most often: 10 to 2 on Tuesdays, and then 4:30 to 7 on Thursdays. When we have events that happen, when we have new kit that comes in, or we're having a sale or something to that effect, then the hours may change, and we always let everybody know what that is when that's happening. With that, just very quickly on, I know Jackie, you want to touch on equipment and then a few other points. So.
Yeah, so I guess we're starting with equipment. So for the Olympic Way and JAG White program, and you will get an email with a list of equipment that they need for the fall, but essentially they will need a kickboard, fins, pull buoy, and snorkel. And you know, we do use all the equipment quite often. They probably use fins and snorkel just about every practice. So it is important that they have one that works, and that's not to be confused with mask and snorkel. It's a training snorkel, not a diver snorkel. Pull buoy, junior size, something small. And for the most part, for Olympic Way, a smaller board also. It is best if they have a kickboard, because we're not always guaranteed to have one at the pool, especially Seton. If they have lessons running, they clean out the boards pretty quick. For the JAG Gold and JAG Blue group, it's sort of the same stuff. It's snorkel, fins, board, and hand paddles. So hand paddles are added in there, as well as a pull buoy. And I always ask that the kids have a couple of tennis balls. We use them here and there for a variety of things. And that's it for equipment. You want to go over the schedule, Jake?
Yeah, that's next. So
okay, so for the training schedule, we really juggled things around this go, because we had quite a lot of interruptions to our training schedule at Seton this past year, especially on Saturday. So one of our main goals was to take JAG Blue and JAG Gold out of Saturday practices, and so we managed to do that. And I think we didn't get all the lane requests we asked for, but I think it will be an improvement. It is change for most people, but it will be better. So I'll just go through the Olympic Way schedule, and hopefully you've all seen it. The Olympic Way schedule will be Mondays and Wednesdays at Seton from 4 to 5:30. And then they will train Fridays at Canyon Meadows, 4 to 5. JAG White will go Tuesday, Thursday, 4 to 5:30, and Fridays 5 to 6 at Canyon Meadows. So yeah, back to Canyon Meadows on Fridays. And you know, there are some Fridays this past year at Seton are really noisy, and there's a lot of kids, and it's a very busy pool deck. So it is Canyon Meadows is a great pool for, you know, that level. They do a lot of teaching. I know the coaches like to do stations on Fridays, and so I think that's going to be very good on Fridays going back to Canyon Meadows. And the JAG Gold group will train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 5:30 to 7. We do start out in the gym. So we typically meet upstairs outside the library at the benches, 4:45. We zip down to the gym for about 30 minutes. and then the kids get changed and come and swim. So the dry land will be Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. There's no dry land on Fridays. And the addition to the gym has been great. We can play games, we can run, we can do a good variety of things. And the dry land portion is important. So that's the JAG Gold schedule. JAG Blue is going to be Tuesday through to Friday. So they go Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday with the same time as JAG Gold, and then Fridays early 4 to 5:30, no dry land on Fridays. On Tuesday and Thursday, the JAG Blue and JAG Gold groups will train together. So this is going to be great. We have lots of lanes, and it's going to be great. We can do things, some practices together and some separate. So we're looking forward to the change. And just jumping back on the dry land. So Olympic Way and JAG White don't have, say, a dry land session, but we are starting a little bit earlier this year. So they'll probably head downstairs at 3:50 to get onto the pool deck, and we want to add more activation time and do some core and strength exercises before they swim this year. So that's why we're backing it up by 15 minutes. Last year they swam, their practice was 4:15 to 5:30. So it's going to be a little bit earlier this time. Any questions so far about equipment or the schedule?
Hello.
I think we're good. You can carry on. Okay.
Can you hear me? Can
And
you hear
just
me?
throughout, if you do have any questions,
Yeah.
throw them in the chat, and we'll try and answer the questions as they pop up. But make sure that we'll go back into the chat and look to see if we've not covered anything, and make sure that we do at the end. So please put any questions that you might have as they pop up in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer them as we're going through.
And maybe I'll just quickly explain why we have added JAG White. This is a new group that is replacing Swim Fit. So this is a need that the club that we needed to create. The JAG White is going to be ages 9 to 12. In the past, this was our Swim Fit group, and it was sessional, but the JAG White program is going September to June, sort of alongside the Olympic Way program. The Olympic Way swimmers are a little bit younger. They're 6 to 8. So anyone who is turning 9 before Christmas, before January, will start out with the JAG White group. So we have a lot of swimmers headed to this group, so it's going to be big, and we're really excited about it. We're going to the sessional program, the Swim Fit sessional program was good. We were finding that kids were repeating session to session, so this is also partly why we decided to make it full year again. And anyway, it's going to be part of the JAG program. So that's the JAG White group, and that's the difference in the ages there. As far as, do you want me to go to the calendar or, okay. So for swim meets, now most of you on the call have done swim meets. So as Jason mentioned, we will have a meeting in the fall and just go over again how to sign up for a swim meet. We're not going to do that today because most of you have done swim meets. There may be some of you who are jumping straight from Swim School 3 into JAG White, because your kids have graduated out of swim school and they might be 9 already, or 9 turning 10. And so it's perfect. They can go straight into the JAG White program. So if you have not, if you cannot, sorry, I lost my train of thought here. If you have not done a swim meet, we will review how to sign up for a meet and that sort of stuff in the fall.
Now your turn.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Do we want to do these first?
Yeah,
Or-
so we
okay.
just have a couple questions about moving up and through the program. And the first question is the chances or opportunity for somebody moving up a level mid-season. And yes, it happens all the
That's a
time.
good question.
It does happen all of the time, particularly at the novice level when kids, progress quickly. It does happen fairly frequently.
As an example, we like last year, typically we will do group moves at Christmas time. Not in the spring. So if we are going to move anybody, it will be December to January, and they can start with a new group in January. Now, the whole development of the JAG White program is so that we don't, so we have a place for everybody to go. We shouldn't see too much movement. Last Christmas, I think we had 6 Olympic way swimmers jump into JAG Gold. And if we have a JAG White swimmer who is say 11, who is looking like they could keep up with the JAG Blue swimmers, and that's an obvious, then we can certainly make those moves at Christmas as well. So just so you understand, JAG Gold is primarily 8, 9, 10, and then JAG Blue would be 11, 12 mostly. So that's kind of the direction the kids would go from Olympic Way and JAG White into those groups.
Okay, so I think that we can probably just go along to schedule so that we can
Okay.
have those other people in. So did you want to talk? We'll get back to the questions, but on the meet and event schedule, it's about once a month, right?
It's approximately once a month. So Olympic Way will definitely have a meet once a month. The JAG White as well. They will have the same swim meet schedule. The JAG Gold and JAG Blues will have the same swim meet schedule, with the exception of there's a couple of meets where there's different age requirements, and the JAG Blues don't qualify or whatever. But for the most part, the JAG Blue and JAG Gold swimmers will have a meet approximately once a month, sometimes twice a month. So it's sort of looking like that. Most of them are fundamentals meets and developmental meets. And, as the year progresses, they'll do some long course meets and some meets with heats and finals, 2 and 3 day, they'll go from 1 day meets to 2 to 3 day meets as they go through the year.
And you'll just notice on here, we didn't put dates. We have an idea of what the dates are, but that has not been finalized yet at the provincial level. And so when we get that final calendar, it will be made available to everybody. But the very first meet is on the 3rd weekend of October. And you'll see some of these dates as we move along to our next slide, but we haven't put the dates up yet. We know approximately when they are, and as soon as we have that, then we'll get that additional information out to everybody.
And you will, come September, you'll have access to our calendar, and we'll keep it updated as best we can with the exact weekends, when the meets are, where they are, who's hosting, and that sort of thing, so you can plan ahead.
Okay.
What else? Is that pretty much all I need to talk about? I think. Yeah.
No.
Should we answer the questions?
Well, we're going to go to this next pieces first. So we're just going to talk now about what is different now as you come into the Cascade Swim Club and the main competitive body. You do have experience having gone to a swim meet, but you've been doing that as a part of our swim school or JOW program. And that's not quite the same as the place that you will be in the position you will be within Cascade next year. It's a little bit different. When you come into Olympic Way, JAG White now, JAG Blue, JAG Gold, then you're a full competitive member of the program. And there are some additional asks of our members when we get to that position. So we're going to talk about hosted swim meets, and we've got Ella Wilson and Amy Thiessen on the call just to talk a little bit about what it means to run a swim meet and what the ask is of our parents in order for us to run the competition. You've been in the position currently where you've been able to come to the swim meet and all you have to do is watch. It's fantastic. And your swimmers are going up and down, but you will have seen the 50 to 60 people on the pool deck at any one time that are running the event. And that is all the other Cascade parents inside of the swim club. So with that, we will ask both Ella and Amy to maybe either come on screen or at least unmute themselves. And we'll talk a little bit about how we do that. I'll show you the meets that we are hosting next year and a little bit more about how we ask our parents to give us their time officiating. So Ella, did you want to maybe start and then, or Amy, as to how it will work for next year?
I can start. I'll give you just a kind of a general gist of what we ask of you. So basically, when you get into our competitive program, we do have a point volunteering program that's mandatory. And it applies to only to our hosted meets. So just like Jackie and Jason were mentioning that you swim a meet per month, but we host about 10 meets in the year. And it's broken up into sessions, generally a fall, a winter, and a spring session. The fall session usually runs from September to November, winter, December to February, and spring usually March to June. And within those sessions, we generally host as our club 2 to 3 meets per session. And the levels that you will be starting at, you are going to be responsible for a certain amount of points that you need to fulfill per session. So for example, during the fall session, generally you'd be responsible for 2 to 3 points per session, similar to winter and spring. So that's generally the number that you'll be looking at, estimately based on this year, that you have to work per session. And what that means is really works out to be 2 to 3 shifts on deck per session. So that's for all the meets that are in that particular session. So, and how that generally works is you may have a swimmer that you're going to be watching and you might work that meet, but we also host meets that your swimmer may not be participating in. And that's just the nature of our sport. And all of you have had swimmers now that have participated in swim meets, and you've seen all the individuals that work on deck that make that run. And that's why we have a point system, is that you can see it's a fine oiled machine, oil tune machine on deck there, and we need all hands on deck to make that work. And it's a lot of, actually, it seems like a lot of information right now, but when you get on there, it's generally quite a bit of fun. But and there is it is required that you work these points, and there is a financial penalty of $100 per point for the amount that you don't fulfill. And that generally never happens. If you are available to work on deck and sign up for your shifts, that's never usually an issue. And how that usually works is the roles on deck are often officiating roles, in which you will take a course per season, either online or in person. And generally you'll start as being a timer or a safety marshal. And you'll see when you've watched on deck, the people on there, on the timers at the end of the lanes, timing the swimmers, that's generally what you kind of start with when you take an officiating course. Or you can do a non-officiating role, such as working in hospitality or working the cameras or the gates and such. So there are many options to do that, but we have many roles to fill on deck. And next year you'll be starting kind of in the introductory role and doing like your safety and marshal and introductory to swimming timer course. And that's generally what you'll be looking at for your first season.
Great, thanks, Ella. And Amy, if you're there, Amy would be the person that you would see be liaising with in terms of helping, find a position, or actually on deck as what the officiating coordinator and sort of steering traffic and giving some guidance as well. Amy, is there anything that you wanted to add on?
Yeah, I was just going to say hi. I'll see you on deck. My name's Amy Thiessen. There's a team of us that are covering on deck lead. There's another Amy, Leanne, Shelley, and Tara. We're excited to have you guys because it's the most, I think, fun part of getting into the competitive season. So when you sign up, there'll be a shift coming out that lists all the different roles and the points they're worth. You'll notice in the first year that the ones that do not require courses are usually worth 1 point per session. And then as you work up through your officiating roles year by year, you'll get into roles that have 2 points because each year as you go through Olympic Way, JAG Gold, Championship, and Performance, the points requirements change. It'll become clear probably the first swim meet. We'll send out an email and it will say, hey, sign up's going to be on Friday. And then when that email comes, it's all electronic. You can go on, you can see the roles available, plot your name in there. Just make sure that when you do plot your name, you're available for the whole shift. So if it starts at 9 and it says it's going to be out at 2, there is a chance that the meet may go to 2:30 or 3. And just make sure that you're available for that day. The most important thing is that we're there for the swimmers. So we have to remember that if we're coming and going or not able to cover our whole shift, it affects them. So other than that, that's about it. Like Ella said, we break the season down. So there will always be a fall session point requirement, winter, spring, and summer. I don't know, Jason, we don't have summer next year, correct?
No, that only
So-
happens once every few years.
Yeah.
And it's not happening next year. No.
Yeah. So then it's just the couple sessions and you're done by June with your volunteer points, but it's a good way to meet all the kids and all the families. So I look forward to seeing you guys.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, guys. And just as Ella and Amy said, and like you would have noticed already when you've gone to the swim meets and your swimmers are racing, you're not on deck or weren't asked to be on deck and making sure that the meet runs, but those are all the other parents inside of the organization. And now as you get into this main competitive body, this is when the ask comes down at this levels and puts a requirement on you to help out into running those events. And just as Amy said, it's there for the kids and it's there to ensure that our kids develop through competition, because that's just part of what we do. We're a competitive swim club. So that is the point system. Just in general, the point system, we've had it around for about a dozen years now. And it was just built to spread the workload for officiating over the entire organization with some requirements. Their requirements are weighted. There are more and more points allocated to the more senior swimmers or senior families inside of the organization. We do try and build, despite what it may appear and despite what you see on the screen, we do try and build our families into this officiating role. So again, the demand is put mostly on the more experienced levels inside of the program, but it's a requirement for everybody, as Ella had mentioned, whether your swimmer is in the meets competing or not. It is still a requirement to fulfill your points. Now, that being said, each session, whether it is the fall, the winter, or the spring, has multiple opportunities to work off those points. You don't have to do them at each event. There are ways of fulfilling your requirements by spreading that out or picking and choosing. And as Ella mentioned, the penalty this year was $100 for unworked points. It will be higher next year. What that final number is, we don't know just yet, but it will be higher. And the question has come up, well, why do we penalize people? And it's simply, everybody should understand, we're not interested in collecting revenue from people through fines and penalties. We're interested in having you on the deck, helping out with the swimming. That's what we need. And so the point system is built so that, every point is needed. And if you're not able to fulfill your points, it means somebody else is having to work and to do extra. And the system is there to try and spread that out. So just know that we don't want to penalize people. We do, and we do it all the time. But we really want you on deck and helping out so that the meet runs smoothly. So that's how we work our competitions that we host. Okay. Yeah, so the question here, I mean, we won't get to all of them right now, but we will recap. The 2 to 3 points is per session. It's at the very introductory level. When we equate a single point for a single shift, for the most part, for a novice official, for somebody working hospitality, somebody working the gate security, or somebody doing a timer, that is 1 point per shift. So 2 to 3 points per session. If we talk about a fall point session or point season, a winter points season, your points requirements is, Ella, do you have that, happen to have that and with the numbers? I just don't have last year's numbers in front of me.
So for the JAG level, Olympic weight level, it's generally per session, it worked out to be 2 points in the fall, 3 in the winter, 3 in spring, and summer this year only. But its average has been 2 to 3 points per whole session.
Yep.
And then we average 2 to 3 meets in the session that you can pick from.
Right. So when we talk about this, the whole session of 2 to 3 points, like that is the session or the season that is September through November and then December through February. And those seasons or sessions, 2 to 3 points per. And then because we host 2 to 3 events inside of each season, you do have, a fair bit of flexibility, not total flexibility, but you have a fair bit of flexibility to work them off with what fits your schedule. Okay.
I was just going to say, Jason, within those sessions, if you're new to the swim meets, if it's a 3-day swim meet and there's prelims and finals, each prelim session is 1 point and each final session is 1 point. A day you can get 2. So you can get your points at this level quite quickly.
Yep. Great. Yeah, exactly.
Just for some of them, sorry, Jason, just for some of the parents who've not, who've only been to fundamental meets, what Amy was referring to is some of the meets that you'll be experiencing now have AM prelim and PM sessions and finals. So each day, that's where there's more opportunity to make your points. Some of the meets that you've gone to have only been a 2 or 3 hour afternoons meet, but a lot of the older meets you'll see that we host, not a lot, some of 1 per session generally have AM and PM sessions. So meaning you can make your points in an AM shift or work your points in a PM shift. So that's 2 sessions per day in a 3-day meet. And that's average about 6 sessions in a weekend. So that's quite a lot of meets. That's quite a lot of shift opportunities to work your points. That's what's a little bit different than some of the meets that you probably experienced.
Yeah. There's a couple questions about the speed at which shifts are taken up, or the fact that they're gone so quickly. And, that's just the nature of the way that the system works. It's, it's open to everybody at a certain time. People do have their preferences and would prefer to work this, that, or the other thing. And so they are on and on quickly trying to get their shifts. Some people prefer to try and work every shift or every point that is their requirement as soon as they can and in a single event. So they are trying to do that. Some people prefer to spread it out, so the whole point being is that it is something to get used to. And, yes, those points do go quickly. We try and open it at a reasonable time so that people, are aware it's generally speaking, it's outside of work hours, so that nobody is trying to have to do it at the office or wherever they happen to be working. But yes, points do go quickly. every shift is a requirement. There are not more points and more points requirements than there are shifts, which was just one of the questions that we did have.
Can I sorry, Jason, can I step in for a sec?
Yep.
Do you mind? Just a quick comment on the shifts filling up quickly as well. On every session that we wrote that we mentioned, be it fall, winter, or spring, we host 2 to 3 meets. And generally in those 2 to 3 meets, you'll see a couple of fundamental meets, which are the meets that you're used to, which is 1 session. And then at the end of it, generally you'll have a large meet that will have multiple days and 2 sessions per day. So that comes to pretty much about 6 of those single meets that you're used to. So what generally a lot of people like to do on the fundamental meets, you're absolutely right. They fill up very quickly, the junior meets, and for sign up, but the points are always calculated so that it includes all those meets. So really at the end of the day, you are not going to make all your points on attending the single fundamental meet that your swimmer might be, because we also will need the help in one of the larger meets. So as far as how that works, as far as having not getting opportunity to get your points, you may not get them at the fundamental meet, but you will certainly make them all up in the larger meets. There are plenty of opportunities to make those points. You'll often see emails come out from the office asking for more assistance because there are still available spots. So as far as meets filling up quickly, the fundamentals do fill up fairly quickly, but the large ones will always have lots of spots to work.
Good. Okay, great. Thank you, Ella, and thank you, Amy, for that. A question, Amy, maybe you want to just tackle this one just about the courses for officiating.
What was the question? Sorry, Jason.
Just there's a question about, is there are there courses offered to take officiating to get your officiating certification?
Absolutely. So every year, I believe it's Mara, that's the official coordinator. She'll send out an email and you'll get signed up for official coordinating or official training email. And on there, Swim Canada offers in-person classes, but they also offer online classes. The first one you're going to take is going to be your timer course. So those lovely people you see at the end of the lane, just taking the splits, would be your first roll on deck. And then the next one they'd move you through would be, I believe, safety marshal, chief timer, eventually stroke and turn. As you work through each year you're paying at the beginning of the year $150 deposit, I believe it is. Each year you take a course, at the end, you're going to get that deposit back. And what that's guaranteeing is just that we have our new competitive families getting trained so that as when the senior athletes are retiring and their parents disappear, there's the next generation to step in. So every year at the beginning of the year, kind of pick what course you want to take it. And then Mara will be saying, yep, they took their course for the year, they're ready to go. And that's all. It's really easy right now. I don't know if they're going to continue to be offered online forever or if that was more COVID related, but currently they have 2 different options. And then I think that's about it. I also did see, Jason, that someone had asked about points. So if you have 2 kids in the program, do you have to do double the points? No, it's always the points of your highest kids. So if you have someone in JAG Blue and someone in Olympic Way, you're going to do the JAG Blue points.
Yep, that's exactly right. You don't have to do the points for each swimmer. The points are allocated on a per family basis based on the swimmer in the highest level inside of the organization. That's how you'll be assessed your points for the year.
Oh, and they just said both kids in the same level. So if they're both in the same level, it's just 1. You don't have to double your points.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Yeah. And just on the calendar here of events, you see there's a couple that are still not determined, the ones towards the end of December. And then there's possibly one in March that's still yet to be determined. But some of these are, as Ella was mentioning, just a single session like you would normally see your fundamentals meets. Some of them are multi-sessions and multi-days, such as the speed meet in November, which is 2.5 or 3 days with a number of different sessions. And again, there's a variety throughout the entire year, but more of that detail will come out out closer to the fall, closer to the start of the season. Okay, great. So
Answer all these questions?
I think so. I think we covered that. Questions on points? Yeah, I think we covered that. Yeah.
Would you have everything said to it?
We'll do that when we do one at the end. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's just talk about fundraising. And with fundraising, we have with us, yeah, Vera's here, so my apologies, talking about bingos, and Chris Elaine talking about family accounts. Just before that, Nick, you raised your hand. Did you have a question relating to points that we didn't go over or hosted meets?
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you for the amazing program. We got used to it now, and it is absolutely fantastic, the work that you put into it, and the program is fantastic. The kids love it. We love it. It's fantastic. So thank you for doing that. No, my question was not about the points. It was about that JAG White schedule. We have 2 kids in the program, and they're in the Catholic school, which ends at 3:30.
Yeah.
So we would never be able to make 4 p.m.
Yeah.
The last year we were in the program, everything started at 5:30, and that's perfect for us. We actually can make it to the barely, but we were there. I was just wondering if there is any possibility to move around some of the swimmers that have school that ends that late.
Yeah, and we understand that they have that early start time, and it's not convenient for all families. We typically do have, definitely a handful of kids at least in Olympic Way, and it will be JAG White, the same story this year, that just can't get there until about 4:10 or 4:15. And if you're rolling in at that time, that's okay. Like they are going to come downstairs, get changed, and start doing activation and some dry land exercises, so they won't actually get in the water till about 4:15 and possibly later. So it's not a problem if the swimmers are a little bit late, and we understand that it's, like I said, if you're in school till 3:30, it may not be possible to get there right on time, and that's okay. So the challenge we have is the program is growing, and the lane space is not. So we are limited as to what we can offer, at each level, each group. And, when they graduate, you can say, from the JOW groups into these competitive groups, they are one group. And so this is when swimming really, they get to know their teammates and stuff like that. They spend all their practices together. It's a little bit different in JOW, where you have new kids coming in and there's slight changes to the program. So this is why we sort of have one group. So I don't have a later option is my point, is that, we're trying to fit everybody in, and this is what we have. So like I said, if you're a little bit late, it's not a problem. If you think that there's just no way you can manage it, we have a lot of we will have a group WhatsApp chat, and you can reach out to parents. Perhaps carpooling is an option, or someone driving straight from school, someone is in their class with them, and we have a lot of that that occurs to make it work. It does it takes many to get the kids to their activities.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're in Chestermere. So far as we know, there's nobody that drives to Seaton at the same times.
Yeah.
And I'm
have some
afraid.
families in Chestermere. Yeah.
What's that?
We do have some families that live in Chestermere. Yeah, I mean, it might be something that we can help you reach out to some of the other families, and we can send out a message to see if anyone is traveling at the same time and that sort of thing. So you can carpool possibly.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
If we can find a solution, I'm afraid that unfortunately they're not going to be able to attend because we can't plan on being late every day, 15, 20 minutes.
Sure.
It's
So Nick,
not-
why don't you email the office at office@cascadeswimming.com, and we can take a look and see if we do have some other families that might be in the area. And then we can get back to you and do it that way. So
Appreciate it. Yeah, I will do that.
great, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. So just a quick question. Ella sort of offered the explanation in the chat about the sessions. Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So just on the optional fundraising that we have. So we do have, these are optional again, fundraisers. There's no obligation to participate in any of these, but these are a way of earning credits onto your account to offset training fees, competition fees, equipment or swimming fees, anything like that. And with us, we have Vera Sear for bingos and Krista Lane for specific family account fundraisers. So Vera, are you still on? Could you talk to the bingos briefly?
Yeah, I'm on. Hello.
Great. Hi.
Hi. Okay, I'm Vera. I'm the bingo coordinator. I did it this past season, and I'm going to be in the role again for the next season. And yeah, just like Jason said, the bingo program is completely separate and optional. So it has nothing to do with the swim meet points. Participation in the bingos is totally optional. And but with that being said, the club does have the opportunity to work about 45 bingos between the months of September and June. And each bingo needs 9 people to work them on, basically 9 people. There are a few that only need 3, but in general, they need 9 people. So there's really a lot of opportunities to work the bingos if that's what you would like to do. And so for each bingo shift, it's $75 that gets credited the following month directly on your account. So like Jason said, that can be used for meet fees, Cascade clothing or bathing suits. So if that's something that you're interested in, it is a good way, to contribute to that. And soon, probably in about a month or so, I'm going to be posting on the webpage all of the bingos, like a schedule of all of the bingos for next year. And then I'll be releasing them. I'll be releasing the signups for them probably in 3 batches. So they'll be open to sign up for a few months at a time. And I'll communicate that, and then everybody will know. So I'll pick, let's say, a Friday night at 8 p.m. When it opens. So similar to signing up to the points, you can go onto your account and sign up for the bingo shifts.
Great. Thanks.
And
Thanks.
I think,
Yep.
yeah, I think that's about it. Any questions? Call, mail. And my option is both. Okay, I think that's all I had, unless there's any questions.
No, that's great. Thank you. Krista Lane is here as well, and she's going to speak about the other family account fundraisers that we have. And once again, these are optional. It's not any kind of mandatory participation, but it does provide an opportunity for you, if you're so inclined, to put money onto your family account. And just so that everybody understands, we're referring to family accounts here, and what the family account is just what we call the billing system that everything goes through when you're in the competitive program. We put your charges for swim meets that you attend. We put your charges for any kind of equipment or kitting that you purchase through your family account. And the family account fundraisers are just that, an opportunity to put credits onto that account. And so Krista will speak to that.
Sure, thanks. And I have 3 swimmers in the swim club right now, so getting some fundraising money is always very helpful and very nice. We run about 3 fundraisers for the year. The first one that you'll see come up, I think we're going to do this one again because it's extremely popular, is Purdy's Chocolates. Don't hesitate to send it out to some of your friends or put it on your Facebook. You never know who's going to be interested. I get some people that go, oh, I'm so glad that you're running Purdy's. I buy chocolates anyways. So they love to purchase chocolates through you. It's a great time of year to be doing it. We also just finished our fill your freezer. No, the last one was our Bow Valley meat. So it's barbecue season. Lots of people are really happy to purchase some grilled meats through that. So that was out at about the May long weekend. And then we'll do a fill your freezer. We're also open to hear other ideas on things that you might be interested in. But those were the 3 ones that we ran this year. They were all very successful and give you an opportunity usually to buy things that you would already be interested in purchasing, and to ask your friends and family to support your swimmer in the swim club as well. So look forward to seeing you around. My last name is Lane. My kids are all Richards though. So if you're looking for who my kids are, they're the 3 Richards in the pool right now.
Great. Thanks, Krista. Okay, so oops. Just on, we didn't have any questions about the fundraising, so we'll just move on. Summer programs. Did you want to speak a little bit about what's going on? Everyone's season is done, but
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So we with the addition of JAG White, or the swim fit changing to JAG White, hopefully there wasn't any confusion if anyone is going to do any of the sessions this summer. Feel free to ask questions if it doesn't make sense when you're registering. So just based on the age requirement for that group, you know, if your swimmer is still 8, they can do the Olympic Way prep camp through the summer, and then they would do JAG White in the fall when they turn 9. So there is a little bit of that right now that we're just working out the kinks of those sorts of things with the changes. But we are offering, you know, the prep camps at Stanley Park, as well as swim school, JOW, and Olympic Way. And then also in the afternoons at Canyon Meadows, our camps go in 2-week sessions, Monday to Thursday. So you always have your weekends off, and the kids get, you know, that 8 practices back to back. We do find that through the summer camps, the kids do progress quite a bit because they are headed to the pool day after day. And you can, you know, you have your option of 4 different camps, and it's great. We actually, this is our 3rd year being at Stanley Park, and that's been good as well, as long as we don't get smoked out or rained out. It's been really popular. So yeah, and the prep camps, and we sort of labeled them prep camps for that reason. We want the kids to come into the fall being ready. You know, obviously the summer camps are optional, but it is there for you if you feel like they want a little preparation before they start with their new group in September. That's what they're there for. And you'll see all the same coaches that you saw through swim school over the past season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So fall 2023, when is it that we are starting? All this information again will come out to you shortly later on in this summer. Like the first day of our age group, or our novice, or first few levels of competitive swimming will be the 18th of September. And so that's a Monday. Obviously not all the programs swim on Monday. It's kind of a rolling start into September, but that is when the main competitive body gets back. You will see that some of the programs, the higher level competitive programs, may start a little bit earlier, but the 18th of September is when these programs will start. Gives everybody a time. You get through the long weekend, you get through your first 2 weeks of school, and then you start with us. The registration date for the program. I know that we've said it. Ella, I don't know if you're still, yeah, I think it is the 5th of September. We will send you that information in advance, but I think that's the date that we chose. Is that
After
correct,
the long
Ella? The
weekend.
5th, right after the long weekend?
That's right, for competitive, and then sessional programs are for returning members is September the 7th, and new members is the 8th.
Right. So, registration, you don't have to do that, as we said, until the 5th of September. Okay. Now, just before we go and we do that, I'm going to send out a little poll to everybody because we inundated you with a ton of information. And there are a number of asks of swimmers and families to being a part of the main competitive body of the Cascade Swim Club. That is not the same as it is in swim school, when you can come for 11 weeks, 3 months, all year long, 2 out of the 3, 1 out of 3. All of these programs we're talking about are a full year commitment. There is a requirement to help out with the hosted competitions that Cascade runs, whether your swimmers are there or not. And so it is different than just what the swim school offers. So if you know the answer, great. If you don't know the answer, you can say that you're undecided. But we would be interested in hearing from this particular group. And we're not holding anybody to this. It's an anonymous poll. But if you know, please say that yes, despite everything that you've said tonight, we are coming in the fall, or no, we can't see this working, or we're probably just going to have to wait and get a little bit more information. All of those answers are fine, but we would just be curious if we could hear from everybody here.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is why we wanted to have the meeting now. So you had some time to think about it, to plan your schedules, to like Jason said, it is a big commitment, not just on the swimmer's part, but on the whole family. So we understand it's a big decision. So we wanted to give you the information now. You have the summer to get organized, and obviously we'd love everyone to return, but
And you know that all of this information, we went through it at a pretty high level, and we went through it pretty quickly. You have all summer to ask questions and to get a hold of us if you'd like some further clarification on any of the pieces that we discussed. If it's something very specific in terms of, the training times and what they're doing and so on, please contact Coach Jackie, coach.jackie.cascade@gmail.com. If it's more of these administrative pieces that we have gone through and discussed, such as bingos or family account fundraisers or officiating at swim meets, please contact us at office@cascadeswimming.com. Drop by, send us an email, however is most convenient to you. Okay, so I'm just going to end this poll just because I think everybody that was here has done it, which is great.
awesome.
So thanks very much for doing the poll. I'm just going to take a quick look at the chat and the questions to see if there is anything that we didn't go over. Somebody did have a question earlier about the JOW schedule. Did you want to address that?
Yeah, we are still offering the JOW schedule as it was this year, with the exception of we will be dropping the 4 o'clock Monday, Wednesday at Canyon Meadows. So we will still have a Monday, Wednesday, 5 o'clock Canyon Meadows, Tuesday, Thursday, 4 and 5 o'clock Canyon Meadows. And then we'll still have Monday, Wednesday and Tuesday, Thursday at Seton. The Tuesday, Thursday time is going to be earlier. But there are a few different options for JOW. We understand that as the kids get older and get into more advanced groups and more, larger, more training, more complex scheduling, it becomes, it's not easy to get everyone at the same time, same day, same pool. So it is, we do our best to give you some options, but we can't always make it work for each family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And what is this question?
I
about?
think
What
all
is
these
it?
other ones were addressed. So.
Okay.
Yeah, well, thank you everybody for coming
Yeah.
on, and we appreciate your time. And as we said, you have all summer to get clarity on any of these questions. If you're still undecided, or even if you are, but would like further clarification, more than happy. Any one of us can answer those questions. Please just email us.
Send the emails.
Yeah, office at Cascade Swimming, and we'll endeavor to get back to you and have that discussion, and make sure you have all of the information that you need. Oh, question for JAG White. So I think that the costs haven't been posted for the fall, but if you go and you look on our website, the cost for JAG White is the same cost as Olympic Way. Now, because JAG White is brand new, it will be with our posting for our 23-24 seasons. But if it were run this year, it would be the same cost as Olympic Way. So just so you have an idea of what to expect, you can go on our site, you can look up this year's Olympic Way cost, and then, it'll be roughly the same come September of 2023.
Mhm. Yeah, we are hosting.
Yep, comment in here about if someone is interested in watching some fast swimming and some exciting swimming. We are hosting provincials. You're more than welcome to poke your head in and see the very last swim meet that you won't be asked to help out at for the rest of your life. But yeah, that is going on at MNP, which is the pool down on Lindsay Park, on Stanley Park. And not Lindsay Park's not called that anymore. It was 40 years ago, but not anymore. MNP, and that is run the 27th through to the 30th of July, and that will be the last competition for Cascade that we're hosting this year. So great. Well, thanks everybody for your
Thank
time.
you.
Certainly appreciate it.
Thank you
Have a
for your
great
time.
night and a great summer.
Mhm. 17. Nobody said.
No.
How many people on the call?